Yo, Big C in the house. You know the name. Fin Posse Podcast. Changing the game. Fins up high. Feel the aqua and orange. Miami Heat blazing. We scorching the floor. Marino the TUA. We stacking the saga. Legacy deep, call it football nirvana. Big C, break it down, got the stats in his veins. Play-by-play knowledge like he's calling the chains. Fins flying on the field, opponents feel the blast. Tyreek cheetah speed, leaving DBs in the past. Waddle with the wiggle, defense with the clamp. Aqua drip so clean, whole squash the champ. Tune in, Big C, got the mic on lock. Fin Posse Podcast, it's the cream of the crop. Breaking news, hot takes, repping the block. For the Dolphin faithful, it's the one-stop shop. Fin Posse. We the voice of the fans. Miami stand tall, got the world in our hands. Best podcast, yo, ain't no debate. Big C, big vibes, setting it straight. Defense smash, call it aqua tsunami. X locking routes like a South Beach Armani. O-line holding strong, trenches like a fortress. Big C dissected, no stack goes dormant.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. You check as I'm chess, what's happening next? Yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.
What up, what up, what up, Fin fans? Welcome to another episode of the Fin Posse Podcast. I am your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. How's everybody doing this morning? How is everybody doing this morning? I'm not doing too well. To be honest, I'm not doing too well. I listen. I made a short yesterday, expressing my feelings. The game wasn't quite over, I don't think, when I made the short. And I'm sorry. Again, I apologize about the language. I'm very passionate about this football team, and I allow it to overtake my feelings at times, and I do apologize about that. I shouldn't allow it to affect me the way that it does, but I love this team, you know what I mean? And I'm very passionate about this football team, and at times it's raw emotion, and a lot's, you know, to be honest, that's why I don't really live stream the games. Not just really that. I mean, it takes a lot to live stream and do a 4-hour podcast, especially when there's, you know, I know there's a lot of options. TD does his, Doug does his, and a lot of people rock out with them guys. But I do lose my temper. I lose my temper with this football team, and it's just because I put so much time and effort into my football team. You know what I mean? Like, if I think about the countless hours, even before doing a podcast talking about the Dolphins, I've given this team a good portion of my life. And to see that they're not giving back to us as fans is just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yesterday against the Cleveland Browns might have been an all-time new low for this franchise. Now, does the Cleveland Browns have a decent defense? Sure they do. But the way that the Cleveland Browns beat on us yesterday, a team that had went 17 straight games or something like that. Oh, no, it wasn't 7. It was 11 straight games scoring under 17 points. They're averaging 13 and a half points a game, and we let them drop 31 on us. We got a quarterback that some pressure comes at him, and his answer is just to throw the ball to no man's land in the middle of the field, just toss it up. We got a quarterback that can't catch a snap. And let's be real, it wasn't just Tua. Quinn Ewers got in the game and he couldn't handle the snap neither. I don't remember a time that things look so bleak for the Miami Dolphins as they do right now. Like, is this the lowest this franchise has ever been? Is this the lowest that we've ever been? And again, Tua had the worst game I've ever seen from a quarterback. I'd have to really go back and think about it, but Tua might have had the worst game I've ever seen from a quarterback, and I'm not the only one that thinks that. And there's no answers in sight. There's no, how do we fix things? When do we begin to fix things? Because there's really not a clear-cut answer to that question. There's no guarantee that the people that are in charge of this football team are not going to be in charge of this football team next year. Like, we all assume, and the title of the video, blow it up, fire everyone. And I think the consensus around the Miami Dolphins fan base is that's exactly what we need to do. I think that's the consensus around the NFL media as a whole. I think the media is calling for a complete blow up, a complete change. Yet our owner continues to sit on his hands and not do anything. Now, do I think firing Mike McDaniel or Chris Greer at this moment fixes the franchise? No. Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't do it. It doesn't. Cosmetically, I think it's a better look for the football team, but does it in depth? Does it do anything to fix the team today? No. But this fan base deserves something. We need some kind of hope at this point. We need some kind of proof that you're going to do something to change things. We need something. Because the product that you're putting on the field is not okay. It's not okay. Let's take a look at it real quick. Even though it's not even worth looking into. Cleveland Browns 31, Dolphins 6. Game stats. Let's see if I can make this bigger. Time possession, Cleveland had it for 31-7-5, Miami 28-25. First downs, Cleveland had 15-12. Total yards, Cleveland 206, Dolphins 219. Rush passing yards, Cleveland 102 yards, Miami 120. Rushing yards, 104 for Cleveland, 99 for Miami. Penalties, 5 for Cleveland, 11 for Miami. Total return yards, 175 for Miami, 44 for Cleveland. Total plays, Cleveland had 53, Dolphins had 57. Yards per play, Cleveland 3.9, Miami 3.8. Turnovers, Miami 4, Cleveland 0. Four turnovers to 0. Box score. Tua was 12 of 23 for 52%, 100 yards passing, 3 interceptions, and 26-34 QBR. But the market is the market. The market is the market. He deserves to be paid what Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, because the market is the market. We allowed this fool to talk us into giving him this huge contract. Devon Achane, 13 carries, 82 yards. Had a long carry of 46, almost broke it, took it to the house. Devon Achane is the one lone bright spot on this football team. Receiving, Malik Washington, 5 catches, 30 yards. D'Estrich had 2 for 45. He caught a long one from Quinn Ewers. Nick Westbrook-Kine, again, invisible, 3 catches, 16 yards. Achane added 3 catches, 16 yards. Jalen Waddle was absolutely invisible in this game. Dotson had a sack. Jalen Phillips had a sack. I want to say that Kenneth Grant had half a sack in this one. But let's be real. These stats are meaningless. These stats are meaningless. They're meaningless. The stats are meaningless. Tua is not the problem. I don't know how you watch yesterday's game and not think that Tua is part of the problem. And I don't think he's the whole problem, but Tua is a huge problem. Come on. You cannot watch yesterday's game and not think Tua is part of the problem. There's no way that you can honestly say that, brother. Like, do you really truly believe that Tua is not part of the problem after his performance yesterday? And maybe there was blown blocking plays. I'm sure there was. But if you cannot admit that Tua is not the answer, I mean, I don't know. And that's troubling to me right there. That's troubling to me that, you know, a lot of us Dolphin fans can it's so clear to us that Tua is part of the problem, right? But Jose, there's a lot of people like Jose out there that don't see Tua as the problem whatsoever. Kim Bollinger yesterday said he's a Miami Dolphins reporter, said worst game by a quarterback I've ever seen played in the NFL. Kim Bollinger, Bo Camper, Kim Camper said it was the worst game he's by a quarterback I've ever seen played in the NFL. Ball slipping out of hands, interceptions. He said, I never thought I'd see a game like this. Bonnie said even Tua admitted that he is part of the problem. And we're going to go over it here in a second, but I think Mike McDaniel hinted at Tua being a main source of the problem. It's not Tua's fault. Our best corner is Jack Jones. Listen, this defense has been horrible. And I listen, I think anybody that watches this show, this podcast, knows that I'm more than fair to Tua Tagovailoa. A lot of people would say I'm a Tua-neer, which I don't think that I am whatsoever. But I'm more than fair to Tua Tagovailoa. This guy and this defense has been horrible this year. But in reality, most of the points that the Cleveland Browns scored yesterday came because Tua came off of Tua's bad play. 3 interceptions. He's throwing it out of the end zone, and because some pressure's coming, he's just, here, toss it in the middle of the field and let you intercept it. Go ahead, take it. Take it. Kim Camper also said he's seen owner Stephen Ross and CEO Tom Garfinkel walking down the hall and they weren't looking happy. Well, I would hope that they're not looking happy, right? What's up, Eagles Uncensored? Obviously, they're not too mad. We're sitting here at 10:30 in the morning Eastern time, and yet still no changes have been made. Excuse me. Still no changes have been made. Mike McDaniel said he would hold people accountable and coach through tape. This is where is he talking about Tua here? Would people hold people accountable and coach through tape? He says, I have no problem talking the truth about tape and expect that people will rise to the challenge. Jeez, I can't read my own writing. Or subject yourself to the same failures as all of us. No one is spared from accountability. No one is spared from accountability. A lot of us will have an important work week, because if you're negatively affecting the football team routinely, affecting the football team routinely, I have no choice but to assess a different player. Jesus, I'm sorry. I'm reading like a handicap here. Let me try this again. Because if you're negatively affecting the football team routinely, I have no choice but to assess a different player. Is he referring to Tua? Does that mean Tua? Glenn, I want something. I want Greer fired immediately. I don't care. How worse can it get? How worse can it get? Fire them all. And Edward, I was going to report that Chris Greer did attend the South Carolina Oklahoma game to assess quarterbacks John Mateer and Lenoris Sellers this past weekend, which neither one of them had a great game. Listen, Zach Wilson is another mistake by this Chris Greer, right? We give Zach Wilson a free agent contract, $6 million guaranteed, with the possibility to turn it into $10 million. That's $6 million combined with Liam Eichenberg's $2 million and Larry Borum's $2 million. We could have got a decent offensive lineman in here. We could have really got a decent player in here. But listen, we're like sharks in the water right now as a fan base. We need to be fed. We need to be fed. We're like sharks in the water right now. We need blood. We need Chris Greer's head on a stick. Mr. Bowles says Sellers scored 7 points. He sucks. Eric Rivera says, give Wilson a chance, man. You guys have to leave Eichenberg alone. He's in the NFL. Listen, everybody on this football team is in the NFL. Just because you're in the NFL doesn't necessarily mean you should be. There are players in the NFL that shouldn't be in the NFL. And listen, they're better athletes than me. They're better athletes than me. So, much respect to them. But that doesn't mean they should necessarily be in the NFL. But is Mike McDaniel hinting at the fact that we could see a quarterback change this week? Is that a realistic possibility that he sits Tua down and starts Quinn Ewers? Now, I know a lot of people want to see what Quinn Ewers can bring to the table, and I'm not against it per se. But you got to keep your expectations realistic. Quinn Ewers didn't show me enough at Texas. I don't think that Quinn Ewers is going to end up being the answer at quarterback. I don't think that he's going to come in and show you enough this year, but it'd be nice to get a look at him, I guess. I'm almost certain that Zach Wilson is not the answer. So if you have high hopes of Zach Wilson, like I said, Zach Wilson can throw the ball with the best of them. But between the ears, Zach Wilson is a liability. Glenn says this season is done. Trade any player that is tradable, get rid of coach and GM after this season. See, Glenn, I would get rid of the GM now. Let him assess these players on this team. Marcos, what up? We have no answer for quarterback right now. And the guys in the draft aren't looking that promising either, to be honest. I would find I would start holding it'd be awkward if Chris Greer's here looking for his replacement. So you fire Chris Greer. How bad can it get? You're going to allow Chris Greer to trade these players away? You're going to allow Chris Greer to continue to be in charge of player personnel when he knows he's supposed to be a lame duck? At least we think he's supposed to be a lame duck. He might have all the job security in the world. With the way that Tua's contract is, Mike McDaniel receiving the extension that he received, God only knows at this point. God only knows. Do we even move on? Tua yesterday was 12 of 23, 100 yards, 52 completion, 0 touchdowns, 3 interception, a 24 rating, and a QBR of 3.4. Please don't tell me that Tua is not a major problem on this team. The last 2 games, Tua is 33 of 55, 305 yards, 1 touchdown, 6 interceptions. He has a 39.45 rating and a QBR of 26.25 over the last 2 games. On the season, Tua is 139 for 205 for 1,313 yards. Completion percentage of 67.8, has 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, has taken 15 sacks. He has a rating of 82.8 and a QBR of 42.9. And you know, I laugh because I was looking these stats up for Tua Tagovailoa. In Omar Kelly a few weeks ago had mentioned about Tua throwing interceptions in bunches, and Tua got really butthurt about it. Tua got really defensive about it. It was like, I don't throw interceptions in bunches. I don't throw a bunch of interceptions. Tua, since 2022, has thrown 2 interceptions in a game 12 times. That leads the NFL. At least 2 interceptions in a game 12 times. That leads the NFL since 2022. Tua has regressed, Glenn. I've said it. Like I said it. I've been saying it. Tua has regressed. And listen, I can't help but to think Tua has not looked the same since the hip injury. Tua has not looked the same since he hurt his hip. Again. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Because as of right now at 10:43 a.m. Eastern time, Chris Greer is still the general manager. Mike McDaniel is still the head coach. And until we see proof, Tua Tagovailoa is still the quarterback. We know what we look like against running backs and stopping the run this year. We have one of the best running backs in the NFL this week coming up in Atlanta. Tell me where our second win comes from. NC Madness says, I watched all those interceptions in slow motion. He was late on every throw. Tua is for sure a part of the problem. He just isn't the problem entirely. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. Timothy says, I want to at least see Jonah on the right side. Why not? Why not explore every option you have? Why are we not doing this? In my opinion, all the Tua's throws look like arm only, no legs, no hip. That supports my belief that there's more issues with this hip than we know that they're letting on. Eric Rivera, I don't know if we beat the Jets next time. We probably shouldn't have beat the Jets this time. Nah, Tua has not been the same, Glenn. This isn't the same quarterback from 2 years ago. Miller, I remember thinking the Saints were an easy win. I was going to fly down to Miami for that game. Dysfunctional franchise with no accountability. Yeah, they're not. It's a disgrace to us fans. The way that they're treating us as fans right now, not caring how we feel. I know this is Mr. Stephen Ross's football team. It's not ours. It's not ours. We don't own them. But the fact that he doesn't care about our feelings, Eric Rivera says, man, I live New York City. Fins fans, 40 plus years, don't want to hear those Jets fans talk BS. I feel you. I'm in upstate New York, brother. Stop. Skylar Thompson would not look fantastic. Stop, Miller. Stop. Waller to undergo an MRI for a torn pec. Could be a season-ending injury. Did he even play yesterday? I think he was in for a couple snaps. We should have traded him when we had a chance. We should have traded Darren Waller while we had a chance. We could have probably got a 4th-round pick for him. We could have probably got a 4th-rounder for Darren Waller. Now he'll be injury reserve. He'll leave us in free agency if he wants to continue to play football, or he will retire again. Thank you, Eric. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are not subscribed. I appreciate all the love and support. It's a tough time for us Fin fans. And listen, I'm trying to vent, you know what I mean? Because this is a tough time for us. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity. If anybody's got something they want to get off their chest, I'm going to put the link in the comments. Just say your piece real quick and we'll move on. Let's not get started on Jalen Waddle. I am so sick of Jalen Waddle. I'm so sick of Jalen Waddle every time this guy gets a pass thrown his way or catches a pass or makes an attempt at a pass that he can't get off the ground. I'm so sick and tired of seeing that. This guy is soft as Charmin. Soft as Charmin. I'm so sick of seeing Jalen Waddle hurt every play. And this is your guys' number one receiver. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. And make sure you guys hit that like button for me. Again, if you don't like the show, by all means, don't hit the like button. But if you do, please show the support so the channel can continue to grow. I've had trouble growing this channel since I deleted all the videos trying to get monetized because YouTube won't tell me what the issue was. So I deleted all my past videos. So it really affected the algorithm. But I need your help to hit those likes. If like I said, if you like the show, by all means. But I threw the link up. If you got something to say about the Dolphins, let's hear it. Because I'm at the point where I can't take it no more. I released a short yesterday, and I said exactly how I feel. I let my emotions get the best of me. And, you know, I apologize about the language. But sometimes this team just, man, oh man. It's more than frustrating. What up, Irving? How you doing, brother? Tua got to go. I agree, brother. I agree. Maybe the worst game I've ever seen from a quarterback yesterday. And Kim Bokamper, reporter for the Miami Dolphins, agrees. The consensus around the league is that changes need to be made, but Stephen Ross continues not to make. What's up?
Morning, Big C. Can you hear me, Big C?
Yep, go ahead.
Pitiful, bro. I watched your video yesterday. I can't watch this team, bro. Thank God I didn't watch them yesterday. If they don't move on, bro, I'm done, bro. I'm done. I've been a Dolphin fan my whole life, bro. This is pathetic. Thanks a lot, bro.
I appreciate you, Michael. Crazy Dolphin fan, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Big C? Listen, man, you're doing a great job. Keep up the great work and what have you. Um, Listen,
I
I'm
appreciate
a
that,
O-
brother.
hey, I'm OC. I've been around for a while. I'm gonna say this. Even though we may not be able to get rid of Ross, I just hope Ross can change his ways and start being more holding more accountability with people who work up under him. If he can do that, I think that we can see a turnaround with our team. But again, keep up the great work. And listen, everybody, please hit the like button, and subscribe and support Big C. He's doing a great job here. So let's give him our support.
I appreciate that, brother. Why do you let me ask you a question before you go.
Uh-huh.
Why do you think he hasn't moved on from Chris Greer? I made the point that what over the four major sports in North American sports,
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember a time a general manager has gone through as many rebuilds, through as many head coaches, through as many draft classes, and still kept his job. Why does Stephen Ross keep Chris Greer around?
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it anyway. Part of it is because he knows all the skeletons in Ross' closet, and then also too, I'm gonna say it again. He's a yes man. Greer's a yes man. But I'm gonna
Yeah,
say this too: if when it comes down to Greer making certain football decisions, unfortunately, Ross has said it out of his own mouth that Greer has to run it through Garfinkel and what have you. So what I'm trying to say is this: what Ross needs to do, he's a businessman, and you got businessmen up under you. Let them
yeah,
make business decisions. Whoever you bring in as a coach and a GM, since if we're gonna move off them, let those guys make football decisions. That's
yeah.
what he need to do. Except, like I said, let him make let you okay, Ross, Garfinkel, y'all make the business decision. Okay, whoever the GM coach is, let them make football decisions because they have way more football knowledge than Greer and Garfinkel and Shore and some of these other guys at the top.
Yeah, because they're great financially, but they don't know football. Why does Chris Greer got to go to Garfinkel to get approval? You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know, but I saw a video where Ross was saying that Greer has to run his decisions through Garfinkel, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that doesn't mean that Greer gets any grace. No, he needs to go. Everybody needs to go, pretty much.
I agree. I agree. It's time for a complete U-Haul
And one more thing
overhaul.
before I jump off Big C, he, uh, Tua is the problem, but he's not the only problem. I just already told everybody who's listening what the problem is. And thanks for having me up here, Big C.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
All right, now have a great one.
You too. Bye. Yeah, I agree with everything he just said. Listen, the Miami Dolphins are not just a Tua problem. Now, Tua has been exceptionally bad this year. He has been worse than he's ever been. But listen, this team is not, except for 2023 and only a portion of 2023 due to injuries, have we given this guy a legit offensive line. And when he had a legit offensive line, he performed. But this year, I believe that there's issues with Tua's hip, and Tua has regressed in my eyes. But us as Dolphins fans, we need change, and we need it now. We need change, and we need it now. You expect us to sit through another half a season of this same bullshit, and it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better at all. Guys are going to start checking out. Like, I think it's already began to a point. Spidey, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Big C? How you doing, man?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Nothing much, man. Just just tired of this over 25 years of mediocrity and dysfunction. It's just sickening. I'm just tired of this team already. I don't think what this team has done is fair for the fan base. I think the fan base has spent a lot of money and time hoping that this team is going to get better, and they just keep giving us false hopes every year. So I don't know.
So, if you were in charge of things, what changes do you think need to be done immediately, or how do you see the rest of the season playing out? What would you like to see happen?
I mean, I would just at this point the season is lost already. You're already at 1-6. It would take a miracle for you to make the playoffs at this point. Um, I would just focus on just letting the young players develop and just give them playing time, give them reps that they need. Let them get experience and see what they got. At this point, I don't really care about playing Tua for the whole season. I think Tua is checked out mentally. I think Tua has clearly regressed. I think he's lost his arm strength. I just don't think he's playing good football right now. So if I might be Daniel, I'd just rather just like let's just let Quinn Ewers play and let's see what he can do and see what you have by the end of the season. If you don't, then what do you have to lose? This team needs a reset pretty much, anyways.
So, do
But
you
there are
do
a
you
few.
make a change at court? Do you make a change at coach right now, or general
Yeah, I
manager,
think I
or do
don't
you
think
wait till
Mike.
the end of the
Yeah, I don't
year?
think. Yeah, I think Mike McDaniel. At this point, even if you fire Mike McDaniel during midseason, like who are you going to replace him with? There's nobody really competent enough to replace him with. Maybe Daryl Bevel, but at this point, I would keep Mike McDaniel for the rest of the season and then hit the reset button. I just don't think Mike McDaniel can lead this team. I think as a play caller, he makes a lot of questionable decisions with his play calling, with his personnel decisions, even some of his play designs. Right, his some of the calls he calls in certain situations are bad. You know, like even Kurt Warner broke down that play versus Buffalo. Like he didn't really put the blame on Tua. He put most of the blame on how the play was designed, the way that you know just overall, like he showed it. I don't even have to go into detail. It's up on
Yeah.
YouTube if you want to see it. So it just him as a leader amongst men. He doesn't command any respect in the locker room. Like his locker room is a mess right now. There's no leadership. There's no accountability for anybody. um even if Tua did call out guys for not showing up to those player only meetings and stuff like that, he has to hold himself accountable because he's been a thorn on the side of the franchise by not playing well in big games, not staying healthy, not protecting himself. So the onus is on him as well. And also when it comes to Chris Greer, I think Chris Greer needs to be canned as well. I think these rosters, the way he's constructed this roster the past 2 years, even going back to 2022 and 2023 with the offensive line, the backup quarterback position, this is the result of his drafting, of his free agency plan, of everything. This is the way this roster was badly constructed is on Chris Greer, and I think that he's the problem too. And when it comes to Stephen Ross, he's the one that messed up keeping these two guys when we knew that these guys, Chris Beard and Mike McDaniel, needed to go from last year. You know what I mean? So, I mean, like you sign an injury-prone quarterback to this huge contract, who doesn't show up in big games, and you're having him play behind a porous offensive line with no backup options. Like that's just an example of bad roster construction. Look at the defense. There's no replacement for Christian Wilkins. I mean, yeah, you had a stopgap in Calais Campbell and stuff, but there's no pass rush. Like there's nothing. There's just the safeties are a mess outside of Minka Fitzpatrick. Like what else do you have at safety? Like our cornerback room is a mess. You still have money that you still have to pay to Jalen Ramsey. Like you put the majority of your resources into two wide receivers. One is out with a knee injury, and the other one, you know, the other one's has
The
to
other one's
carry
a
this
joke,
friend.
in my opinion.
Hasn't even started his extension yet. So, and there's no money to go around to build the offensive line, to build the rest, the safety room. and the rest of the team. So I think it's just bad roster mismanagement. It's bad leadership. You know, it's just overall bad. It's just overall dysfunction, man. And this is not just a Mike McDaniel, Chris Greer problem. This has been a problem going even before Ross. This has been going on for the past 25 years, and the Dolphins never seem to get out of their own way. And it's just enough is enough.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thanks for the comments, Whitey. I agree with you 100%. Changes need to be made. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you for having me on, bro. Have a great day.
Appreciate you, brother. Anthony, what's up?
Hey, Big C. Honestly, nothing's gonna change because Ross wants to. If he hires a GM and a coach, I don't believe these reports saying that he wants to try to hire like a hard-nosed coach like a friggin' Rex Ryan. He wants a coach that he wants a front office and a coach that he can control. He wants a yes man, basically. That's why freaking what's his name has been around this long, because he's basically his yes man. Like Greer has been around this. A competent owner and ownership in general would have fired Greer a long time ago, but Ross has this like affinity for keeping guys around either way too long or he doesn't keep them around long enough. Like he fired Bill Parcells because Bill Parcells was calling him out on his bull crap. He fired what's his name? There was another guy in that front office that was a former coach that he fired because he doesn't want guys who's gonna call him out on his BS. That's the issue, and he half-asses everything. He doesn't clean house completely. Do you agree?
I mean, I could say that with the GM, but not so much with the coach. I mean,
no, that's what I mean by half.
He's got to deal with the GM on a daily basis. The head coach is going to do what the GM and the owner want them to do.
No,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. When I say half-ass, he only fires, instead of cleaning house completely, he keeps a GM, but fires the coach. And when he brings in a new coach, the coach wants to try to build what he try to establish a culture he wants, but he can't because Greer wants, like, I hate to bring up Flores and stuff like that. He wanted to be a physical football team, but a guy like Greer wants to play finesse. Like there's a disconnect with the coaches outside of Gase and McDaniel. Most of the coaches that we've hired wanted like Wannstedt or like a Sperano and stuff like that, and Anna Flores want to play physical football, but the GM wants to draft finesse players. Very like players that are coming from a spread offense who don't play physical all the time and stuff like that. And am I off, or do you see that too?
I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily true. I don't think that Chris Greer overly cares about. I mean, I think Mike McDaniel wanted speed players. I think that's what type of offense and type of team that Mike McDaniel wanted. So that's the type of team they drafted. Obviously, you know, you're not going to get any coach that's worth a damn when the general manager is not your dude. You know what I mean? General managers usually have their list of coaches. Coaches usually have their list of general managers that they want to work with. When you try to bring in a head coach that knows that Chris Greer is a piece of shit GM, no real good coach is going to want to come here and deal with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this is why I say
you think John Gruden would come to the Miami Dolphins with Chris Greer as general manager? Not a chance.
Yeah, no, and this is why
Jim Harbaugh would have came here with Chris Greer as general manager.
Yeah, no, and Big C, this is what I mean by Ross does half-asses through the offseason when it comes to cleaning house. He refuses to fire Greer because Greer does everything he tells him to be honest. Like, let's be honest. That's the only reason why Greer has been around as long as he has, is because he's basically almost like he's a butt boy for friggin' Ross. Like, he doesn't want to like call out Ross on his BS, and I think that's why Reggie McKenzie left. He was calling Ross and Greer out on their BS, and they didn't like that.
See, I think it's more of an issue. You know, most guys are going to be yes men to the owner of the franchise, to their bosses, right? Most people are going to do what the owner wants done. You know, obviously, I don't think Stephen Ross necessarily sticks his head in too much when it comes to player personnel, this, that, and the third. I think it's more of an issue, and you know, everybody can say it's a conspiracy theory or whatnot. Stephen Ross, Chris Greer, they tried to do some sneaky snake stuff that was illegal, right? They tried to get Tom Brady. They tried to get Sean Payton into the room. You know what I mean? They got caught because Brian Flores told. And now Chris Greer was part of all those conversations. This court case is still going on. And I think that Stephen Ross is worried about, if I let Chris Greer go, the next day I'm going to be dealing with new set of lawsuits, because he fires Chris Greer. Chris Greer's going to, oh, well, it's because of this. It's because of that. It's because it's going to have little to do with his performance as a general manager. And he's going to make up reasons, and he's going, oh, well, he fired me because of the stuff with Brian Flores from 2021 and blah, blah. And I think that's the major issue why Chris Greer has continued to keep his job.
So it's more about it's more fear than anything with Ross keeping Greer around as long as he has.
Yeah,
he would have fired him a long time ago.
In reality, if Stephen Ross is found guilty of all the things that Brian Flores is accusing him of, and you know, if you got Chris Greer on your side, if you're Brian Flores and you got Chris Greer on your side, I mean, in reality, the NFL could force Stephen Ross out.
So it could be like as bad as what you saw with Donald Sterling, almost.
I mean, it could get bad. We're talking about you forcing a coach to lose football games to gain draft capital. You're talking about private meetings on a boat with another team's quarterback, with another team's head coach. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, wasn't I have a question?
Dark stuff. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm asking. Wasn't Peyton still under contract with the Saints before?
Yeah,
or was he already
I'm pretty
free
sure
agent?
Pretty sure. No, he was never a free agent. I'm pretty sure the Broncos had to trade picks to the Saints to get him.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're right. The Broncos had to, I think they gave up like 2 seconds and a third or something like that.
So I definitely think it's more of a, if I fire Chris Greer, am I gonna have to? There's more stuff going to come to light.
This is on his question. If what's it called? If Ross gives the ownership, the rest of the ownership to like either his daughter or the other guy that he brought in, Josiah, can that lawsuit apply to Josiah or his daughter, or it automatically clears up?
I'm not sure about that, Anthony. I mean, I don't know the legal ins and outs of what is even possible. I just believe that there's no other clear-cut reason for me that Stephen Ross keeps Chris Greer around.
And like the financial guys are like the two guys who are controlling the draft. I don't think really Greer is controlling the draft. It's the two financial guys, Brandon Shore and
See,
Garfinkel.
I don't think that. Like I said, Stephen Ross wanted to draft Lamar Jackson, and Chris Greer was not okay with that and chose Minka Fitzpatrick over Lamar Jackson. So I think Lamar Jackson or Chris Greer is still making the moves. I think this year in free agency, they were like, hold on, you're not just going to be able to spend my money any type of way this year. You got to come to us and let us know what type of move you're making.
Dan Quinn is not going to come here. Sorry, Justin. Dan Quinn is that old school mentality type of coach. He's not going to come here. He doesn't want to deal with Greer or Ross. Ben Johnson, maybe. Like the other guys you mentioned, yes, but Dan Quinn is not going to come here. I'm sorry.
Well, no competent coach is going to come here as long as Chris Greer's here. None.
Dan
You'll get
Campbell's
guys. You'll get guys like Mike McDaniel who are begging for their first opportunity that might not get an opportunity somewhere else. And I think that's why we hired Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel was one of the few guys. Listen, Mike McDaniel was on nobody else's coaching list. He didn't get any other coaching interviews. He was a running backs coach for the San Francisco 49ers. He came in, did an interview. He was all right with Chris Greer being the general manager. He was all right with Tua Tagovailoa being the head coach. Like, he was all right with it, so that's who they hired. But some of these guys are not going to put their one opportunity, a guy that has multiple options. They're not going to come in and have to, Tua's my quarterback and Chris Greer's
would a Spags come here?
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Would a Spags come here? Spagnolo?
I doubt it. Not with Chris Greer and Tua as your quarterback. No way.
No, and I think maybe the only coach I could see coming here is a Mike McCarthy.
I don't think Mike McCarthy's coming here with Chris Greer and Tua. I don't believe it. These head coaches have options. Why are they going to come in where the quarterback's already set? Why they got to tie their name to Tua Tagovailoa? Why they've seen the job Chris Greer.
No, I think
we're not
honestly,
the only ones.
I think honestly, Greer, can they actually, would it be a breach of contract if they just cut him out right without giving him the rest of his money?
Oh, Greer?
Tua.
No, they can't cut him without giving him the rest of his money.
Oh no, I'm saying can they give him just a base salary? Like, let's say they cut him, Tua specifically. They just give him his base salary and not give him the bonus.
No. I mean, I believe if we cut him, it's a $99 million cap hit.
And this
$99 million.
And Big C, this is another thing I can criticize Greer with. Like, he gives the players the wrong players extensions. Actually, like, I understand, and this is why I fear he might trade Waddle, because McDaniel prefers. A lot of people say McDaniel prefers Tyreek a lot more than Waddle and stuff like that. And
why do you fear trading Waddle? I'm so sick of Jalen Waddle. Listen, Jalen Waddle's an okay number 2 receiver.
I'm saying he's a young player.
But I'm so sick of him. Every pass that comes his way, every time he makes a catch, I'm hurt. I can't get off the ground. Like, this guy
is learning that from Tyreek.
Come on, bro. Come on. He ain't learning that from Tyreek.
No, Tyreek is like that too. A lot of people who are Chiefs fans complained he would do the same exact shit. Like, coaches in Kansas City would complain he would fake injuries because he wasn't getting the targets he wanted and stuff like that.
Listen, the few years that Tyreek was here, I didn't see that from Tyreek. What I would see from Tyreek is that every couple of plays he would pull himself out the game, which I thought was retarded. Even if it was in crucial moments, he'd pull himself out the game. But I'm so sick of seeing this guy not take a major hit, not take a major bump, and he struggles to get himself off the ground. I think he's just soft.
Yeah, no, and this is why I'm saying, like, to be honest, the only way this team change, this collective mindset is hurting the team. Like, honestly, these championship level teams like the Chiefs or stuff, they don't have this collective mindset bullshit. To be honest, they have a philosophy, but it's not this collective where there's too many cooks in the kitchen. The owners of these successful franchises who are constantly in the playoffs let the football guys do their work. They don't allow financial guys or the owner to get involved. Like, the owner is hands off and lets the football guys do everything. Do you agree?
I don't think Stephen Ross is hands on like that. I really don't. And it's all right to have multiple cooks in the kitchen, but your cooks can't all come from McDonald's.
Oh, no. What I'm saying is the cooks in the kitchen that are involved in player personnel are the financial guys in Garfinkel and friggin' Brandon
I think
Shore.
I think that was just this past year. They tried to limit Chris Greer because Chris Greer's spending all this money, yet he's not producing results. So I think there was hey, you got to check out what's going on with, you got to run things by these guys. And do I think that's necessarily right? No, these guys aren't football guys. You shouldn't have to run football. If that's the case, you might as well replace Greer.
Yeah. No, and
if you don't trust Greer, you got to replace Greer.
No, and this is what I'm saying. This collective mindset has hurt the Dolphins the last 20 years, where you have too many voices in that front office with two different philosophies. You don't know what philosophy the team is drafting. That's what's hurt us with the drafting too, is having too many cooks in the kitchen has hurt the philosophy of what we want to draft, because you have Greer and certain guys in the front office wanting to draft finesse, and then there's guys like a Parcells and a Sherman, when Sherman was here, wanted to draft physical player, like having a physical football team. So you don't know what philosophy the team wanted, and I think that's what's hurt us the last few years too. Am I wrong to think that?
Well, thanks for coming on, Anthony. Listen, I don't think you're necessarily overly wrong. I just don't agree with everything you're saying. I think that the reason that we're struggling is because the players that we have in charge are not drafting the correct players. They're not drafting good enough. What up, Joe?
Hey, what's up, Big C?
What's going on, brother?
Oh, I'm just I'm at the point where a lot of people are, wins are losses, losses are wins. I'm, fully expected us to blow that one in the fashion that we did.
Yeah.
I think everybody is safe until the end of the year. That's when Ross will make his decisions. And you know what? I think we have a nuke incoming. I really do.
You said we got a new what coming?
A nuke. It's going to blow it all up.
A nuke?
Yeah.
Do you have faith that he's going to get rid of Greer? Because I don't have faith that he's going to do it.
That's the thing. Like, Greer is a cockroach, so he can actually survive a nuclear fallout. But here's the deal with Greer. I think if he starts trading players and getting picks and loading up for the next rebuild, he has the opportunity to retain his job. He has the opportunity to save his job by preparing us for the next attempt. And I think we're going to see that happen. I think we're going to see Waddle move. I think we're going to see Achane move, maybe a defensive piece or two get moved for whatever we can. And it may not be like fix it all in 1 year. It may be for picks next year, or 2027 draft that we're accumulating. But I think he does have the opportunity to stay.
Fix.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not going to be
it's not going to be fixed by the draft, right? Even if we do end up getting the third overall pick, It's not going to be fixed in just that draft. However, that is a big piece of it. And it's not just that first round pick. It's all of the picks that we need to be as high as possible. So I'm excited for us to tank, you know. I've never said that before in my life. I've never been that kind of a fan, but I just don't see how we can patch this up and keep trying without doing a full reset. And I don't want any of the QBs that have been in the QB room with Tua. Even if they're young, they've already been exposed to an improper development. And so Ewers he may be, you know, secretly better than a 7th round pick. I don't think he's going to be 1st round or 2nd round QB quality. He was the 14th guy taken in a draft that didn't even have that many great QBs. 14th. That means all the other 31 teams saw 13 QBs as better than him. Nobody even wanted to take a shot on him as a 3rd string for any other organization. So, you know, I'd sure let Ewers play a little bit, but I think at the end of the day, we're cleaning that room with bleach.
Well, see, that's why I can't exist. You know, at this point, I understand that the season's lost. You know what I mean? And I get excited about, you know, when I get upset about us losing, because I want us to win, because you know, it's natural as a fan to want to win, even if it's detrimental to the team in the long run. You still want to win. You know what I mean? And I can't allow myself to get too excited about the possibility of having a top draft pick when I know that Chris Greer's the one making that pick.
Right. His last 2 top 5 picks were Tua and Deion Jordan. I don't know if Deion Jordan was under his I don't remember where, but he was involved in the scouting at least.
Well, regardless if it was Deion Jordan or not, he's had numerous times where multiple 1st round draft picks, and if you strike out that many times, like, come on, like,
well, not even the 1st round. I mean, it's just most of his draft picks. Most of his draft picks have not panned out. Like I don't know how many total he's had, but it's got to be like 90% of them have either ended up being someone that we decided it wasn't worth paying them enough for, and we let them go when we shouldn't have, or they've been a bust, and we took too long to figure out if they were a bust. Tua, the main example, but there were others like Channing Tindall was hanging out here forever. Cam Smith, we knew what the fuck we had with Cam Smith the 1st season, and absolutely.
And we're trading extra draft picks to move up to draft some of these guys. You know, we traded up to get Liam Eichenberg when Creed Humphreys was available. He's one of the best offensive linemen in the league. You know what I mean? We traded up to get Jalen Wright. You know what I mean? We're giving up extra assets to get guys that are sitting at the bottom of the bench for us.
Yeah. And you know what? I hate rooting against our team. I really do hate rooting against our team just for the spirit of having better picks to go through. Life's too short to spend, and the season's too. We spend so much time in the off season getting hyped up about the season, right? And then for us to come in here and 2 weeks in, be like, nah, fuck it, it needs to get destroyed. I get that, but now that we've just passed week 7, and there's zero hope whatsoever, and there's not even players that I'm thinking, maybe we can develop them, see what we got. There's really not that many. I like Patrick Paul. I think he should stay. I think Grant's got a lot to prove to me. Jonah's got a lot to prove to me, and so far it's looking bleak. Well,
I mean, they're young. I mean, Patrick Paul wasn't great last year. Let's hope that, a year under their belt, with Jonah, he's playing at a position that he's never even played before. They refuse to move him to the right side for whatever reason, which is mind
they need to go ahead and do that.
Why not move him to the right side? That's where he's comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, why not? It can't get no worse.
He had the perfect opportunity to with those injuries on the right side.
I agree.
But
so the people that are in charge of the football team, like, until they're replaced, I can't get excited about the future when the same people that created the past are in control.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm not saying I want Greer, but I think he does have the opportunity to keep his job if he sets us up for our next rebuild.
I mean, I think he has the opportunity regardless, but you know, if you're going to allow him to control trading players this year and acquiring draft picks, you'd have to give him some kind of job security. You'd have to let him know something, because he knows he's gonna go to Stephen Ross and be like, hey, you said, you know, at the beginning of the season that, you know, if things aren't going to be okay if we finish the same way we did or worse, and now you want me to trade away our best players. Like,
Well,
what's that mean for me? So he's going to need some kind of word from Stephen Ross that, hey, listen, you can trade these guys away and you'll be safe next year.
I think we do need to trade Achane though, because of the running back life, you know, how short of a career they have. By the time we're, you know, properly rebuilt, Achane's going to be too old. So I do think we need to go ahead and move him.
Well, I mean, I think someone said he was 23. I mean, realistically,
that's
he could be
halfway through a running back career.
Yeah, he could be 25, 26. What worries me about Achane is the amount of money he's going to want. And he's an undersized back, of course. So there's always that risk of him taking that big hit. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
So that's what makes it nervous for me about Achane. But I mean, Achane is definitely by far and away our best player this year at the very least.
I think that's why it's perfect time to move him for maximum value.
But I would definitely move on from Waddle, especially if the price is right. I can't.
No.
I've had it up to here with his. Oh, I can't get up. I can't get up.
That and the his hands aren't as sure as I'd like them to be. He jumps for every catch when he doesn't need to jump,
which eliminates his speed asset. You know what I mean? It eliminates your advantages with your speed.
There's no opportunity for yak with him.
Nope, none.
So, and you know what? Receivers like that, like of his ability or better, are a dime a dozen in the draft. Yeah. They come in groves every year in the draft. So I don't want to get hung up on a guy that's not generational.
Yeah, that's true. 100%. 100%. Yeah, like I said, I think changes need to be, at the very least. I'm all right with Mike McDaniel finishing out the year just because I don't feel like there's anybody that can come in and, you know, who are you gonna Weaver's not the answer. He's done nothing with this defense. And there is some players on this defense that I feel like are good players. You know what I mean? The fact that Chop Robinson's only playing as many snaps that Chop is playing, I think is crazy. He's just not playing enough. And I know he hasn't been great, you know what I mean? But I think Chop's a guy that needs to be out there. He needs to be out there.
Yeah.
And he's just not getting enough opportunities. I think us not bringing Calais Campbell back was a major, major mistake. He's someone that could have clogged that hole. He could have Kenneth Grant could have learned under him. Zach Sealer's had a horrible year, but I think Zach Sealer is not playing. He's playing out of position. You're trying to get him to play a nose tackle position when that's not Zach Sealer's game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know a lot of people are getting pissy about like criticizing the defense because they're like, no, it's, you know, offense's fault, whatever. It still doesn't mean they have to be bottom of the league in yards against and points against. Like, it's not all the offensive woes that have put our defense in a bad spot. Like, I'm watching these games and everyone's like just walking, and it's like they're assisting them through the holes.
Yeah.
Like a butler holding the door open.
Now, Tua, in your opinion, you think he's regressed?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Now, do you think it's a hit?
His decision-making used to be significantly better.
Do you think it's just the decision-making? Or I feel like he lacks arm strength that he's had previously. I think since he's hurt that hip last year, he hasn't been the same quarterback.
maybe I think the arm strength thing was a bigger focal point in a year, 2 years ago, and maybe the year before that, when everyone was criticizing him for not being able to throw it deep. I think he made that a focal point of his game and improved slightly there. But if you're not focusing on something like that, it's going to fall off. And he used to be touted as like the accurate, smart decision-making QB, and we're not seeing that at all. We're seeing his accuracy drop off. We're seeing awful decisions. And yeah, the power isn't there either. So at least some of those QBs that make bad decisions, at least they can gun it, but
Yeah,
he can't. And that limits, what the defense has to be ready for. It'd be nice if they were expecting us to do everything short, but then every so often he could actually throw a huge deep ball and get them to respect our offense a little bit more. It's just not happening. So yeah, I'm not really curious to see Ewers. I'm not really curious to see Zach Wilson.
yeah, me
So
neither.
I'm very mum on our QB room. And I think a lot of people want to see Ewers and Wilson just because they hate Tua so much. And that's the wrong reason to invest your interest in a QB, because you hate the other guy. That's going to be that's a perfect way to get fool's gold. If Ewers has one like mediocre game, everyone's going to be crowning him as like the savior of the Dolphins. And we're going to be trapped again with a mediocre QB that we got all excited about because we haven't had a good one ever.
Yeah, I agree. People see Geno Smith and Sam Darnold and, the Jets are just bad at quarterback. Zach Wilson's got a great right arm. He just, between the ears, he is not football smart. He's not. I just don't think he's got it. And Quinn Ewers, he didn't show me enough at the University of Texas. He regressed at the University of Texas. He was supposed to be a top draft pick. You know what I mean? Yeah. He was on the cover of the college football games, and you know what I mean? Every college brochure that you've seen, Quinn Ewers was a part of that. And he fell off last year, and he wasn't very good at Texas his last year. He's lucky that he held off Arch Manning as long as he did. So I have very little hope for Quinn Ewers, and you're absolutely right about, Quinn Ewers has one good game. People are going to be like, oh my God, right. You're right about the Tua hate. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of changes need to be made.
Someone that doesn't like Tua. Like, I think Tua's trash, but I don't want us to get fooled by just like anything is better.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Joe, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Sorry, I'm like eating while talking, but I appreciate it, man.
No, you're good. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Yep. Take care.
Yep. Peace. All right, folks. Listen, bottom line, I think Chris Grier needs to be replaced as soon as possible. I don't think you allow him to trade assets for future years if he's not a part of the plans. And if you do allow him to trade, if you do allow him to start trading players away and gaining draft capital for future years, what's that say about Chris Grier's job security? And hello, Pamela. I don't know if we've ever talked. Good morning. What's that say about his job security? And then what's that say about the future of this franchise? What's that say? If we're going to go into another year with Chris Grier, Chris freaking stinking Grier in charge of player personnel, in charge of the NFL draft, how can you get excited for having a top pick? How do you get excited for that? Well, we're just going to fire Mike McDaniel and he's going to be the scapegoat and everything's supposed to be okay. No, things weren't good before Mike McDaniel got here. What makes you think they're going to be good by replacing McDaniel? What makes people think things are going to be good if we don't tear it completely down? Now, Tua's owed a lot of money. Tua is owed a lot of money. But at this point, is it better just to rip the Band-Aid off and take that hit? Is it better just to rip the Band-Aid off and take the hit? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I just know I'm tired of seeing nothing being done. I'm tired of seeing nothing being done. Something needs to happen, and something needs to happen now. We got blown out by the Cleveland Browns yesterday, a team that averages 13.5 points a game. Our quarterback threw 3 interceptions, no touchdowns, had a QBR rating of 3.4. We're in a bad spot, folks. We're on a bad spot. And I can only hope that it gets better. But at this point, I don't have faith in it. It's 11:37 a.m. Eastern Time, and Mike McDaniel is still your head coach. Chris Grier is still your general manager, and Tua Tagovailoa is still your quarterback until we hear something different. And that's where things stand. We go up against Atlanta this week coming up. Expect another bad loss. Look what the Cleveland Browns did to us. If you got Bijan Robinson in fantasy, good for you. If you play DraftKings or FanDuel or anything, bet money on Bijan Robinson going off. It's going to be a long season, folks. It's going to be a long, long season. It already seems like it's been so long. There's no end to this disaster, this dumpster fire in sight. And we just gotta grin and bear it. We just gotta grin and bear it. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. Again, if you don't like the program, cool, don't hit the like button. I don't want you liking something just to like it. If you like it, if you enjoy it, if you want to help the channel to grow, I appreciate you all. I love you all. I'm gonna get out of here, and I will see y'all tomorrow. You know what it is. Fins up, baby. Fins up. Peace.
Yo, Big C in the house. You know the name. Fin Posse Podcast. Changing the game. Fins up high. Feel the aqua and orange. Miami Heat blazing. We scorching the floor. We know the TUA. We stacking the saga. Legacy deep, call it football nirvana. Big C, break it down, got the stats in his veins. Play-by-play knowledge like he's calling the chains. Fins flying on the field, opponents feel the blast. Tyreek cheetah speed, leaving DBs in the past. Waddle with the wiggle, defense with the clamp. Aqua drip so clean, whole squash the champ. Tune in, Big C, got the mic on lock. Fin Posse Podcast, it's the cream of the crop. Breaking news, hot takes, repping the block. For the Dolphin faithful, it's the one-stop shop. Fin Posse. We the voice of the fans. Miami stand tall, got the world in our hands. Best podcast, yo, ain't no debate. Big C, big vibes, setting it straight. Defense smash, call it aqua tsunami. X locking routes like a South Beach Armani. O-line holding strong, trenches like a fortress. Big C dissected, no stack goes dormant.